Hello, I'm Sulakna, and today I'm speaking with one of the winners of the Executive Committee Awards, Katie Macdonald, the President of the Sports Union. Catherine has gone above and beyond in her services to the Sports Union and thoroughly deserves this award. Congratulations. To start off, how did you or how will you celebrate this award?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I celebrated when we found out. So a few of us are on the awards committee, so it's quite funny because we were kind of involved in choosing the awards, so we knew ahead of the day. So I think it made like the Instagram post maybe a little bit less exciting, but it's still obviously a really big achievement and something that I'm quite proud of. So I definitely just celebrated with a nice dinner, and then fingers crossed, kind of post lockdown. Obviously graduation and things like that, I think we'll kind of roll it into a bigger celebration for that.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. And so my next question is, what has been your favourite part of being president?
Oh gosh. I think obviously it's been an interesting year. So I can't say kind of, the events and things that maybe typically a president would say. So I think it's just been working with the people. I know you've interviewed a fair few of them so far, and I think they're just the best people across the university in my very non-biased opinion. So just kind of working with them, both with the students and kind of being inspired by them every day, but equally the staff team. They're just such a good group to work with. So I think kind of learning from them every day has been a real highlight for me because it's such a short 12-month job. You kind of blink and it's over. So just trying to learn as much as I can, I think has been my highlight.
Yeah. And now I know that you were the president of the Women's Football Club. Were you always into football, and when did you start playing football?
Yeah, so I was the president of football in my third year, and then I went on to be the health and wellbeing officer in my fourth year. I've always played football. I think I was a bit boring. I came to university having always played, knowing that I wanted to play. I spent about 20 seconds at the sports fair in my first year because I walked straight to that table, signed up, and then walked out. And maybe not the answer that people want to hear. I started playing when I was about 5, so I moved to America, and I was really lucky that there, women's football, girls soccer is such a big sport. So I think that had a huge part to play because everyone I knew played. So definitely started playing at quite a young age, and then have played all the way through to varying levels. Kind of stopped for a bit in my last year of school because of A levels. And then kind of picked it back up when I came to university, and I was really grateful that EWFC kind of had the opportunity for everyone to get involved.
Yeah. And of course, I've got to ask you about the pandemic. How has this affected your work with the sports union, and how have you kept motivated throughout?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I studied infectious diseases, and my infectious diseases degree was shortened by an infectious disease, which is really just quite ironic. It's obviously changed a lot. It's changed kind of our typical week. So my predecessor, Julia, had Wednesday afternoons blocked off in our calendar. So every Wednesday afternoon it says Wednesdays are for sport, and you'd have to be quite protective of that because ideally you'd be watching matches and kind of supporting students. Clearly none of that has happened. And obviously that's a big part of what we're used to having. So I think it's just been kind of getting involved in everything else that we can. So we've done a lot of policy review and maybe things in a typical year would get forgotten or you just would not have time for. Not always been the most fun for a few of the kind of admin-y side things, but they're things that are really important and we need to get right. So it's been useful to kind of get involved in that. And I suppose motivation wise, for me, it's exercise. I suppose a typical answer from a sports president, but just kind of making sure you keep the work-life balance, because I definitely did not get that right in my first semester of the job. So it's definitely been something since Christmas that I've been really wary of, and kind of making sure you stop working. Obviously normally you'd leave the office at 4:30 and everyone would at the same time, but it's been more challenging, I think, but working by yourself, working from home. So yeah, motivation wise would just be kind of making sure you get outside and seeing other people on the kind of one-to-one basis has been good as well.
Mm-hmm. And to finish off, if you were at the sports union ball, your name has been called out and you're up on stage, what would you say and who would you thank?
I'm lucky that exec awards we wouldn't have had to say anything, which is lovely because there's multiple of us, so I would have gotten away with it. I think I would have thanked my parents. So my dad is definitely the reason I got into playing football. So obviously I wouldn't have been involved, I don't think, with the sports union if I hadn't kind of come in with that. And definitely kind of the club as well. I definitely wouldn't have run for exec if it hadn't been for the year I had as president, and equally the last two sports presidents. So I don't know how well you'll know of them, but Paul Duffy and Julia Stenhouse were the two before me, and definitely Paul is the reason that I was nudged, alongside Ross Simpson, who works at the SU still, were the reason I was nudged to run for VP, which obviously then led to me running for president. So definitely would have to thank them for being in the right place at the right time and saying the right things to me. So yeah, I suppose just family and friends, really. Yeah, it's obviously team sports mean that you definitely didn't do that by yourself. I am a fighter!